Hello and welcome to this next installment on our TradeWatch video series. We're at this point in the year, obviously we're closing out the year at this stage, and there is a bit of a decision that the markets will be needing to make. So without further ado, let's just start with our risk warning. As always, please make sure you familiarize yourself with a risk warning when trading these financial markets. And let us explain what we mean by how we perceive these markets to actually be a little bit of a decision time that needs to be made or considered. And what I'll do is I'll just get my pen up, and with all of these markets, we've been on a bit of a bullish trend. As you can see, this is the euro dollar daily time frame, and we're seeing this little bit of price action just up at these highs, a little bit of erratic kind of turnaround price action. So, and we can see this this kind of structure created across many of the markets that we look at, and it just gives us that opportunity to analyze what's going on, to assess the market fundamentals and sentiment, and to suggest that we either get obviously some of this continuation move above, in this example, the 122.77, or potentially we get some good opportunities to see markets like these just correct, which we normally see markets correct at some point. And we do have the fundamental backdrop for these markets to begin to just question the I suppose the ongoing sort of march to the upside as far as like your equity markets are concerned. So we're seeing all-time highs made across the equities in the last few days. And again, we're just entering this decision phase at the moment. We're getting a lot of erratic kind of volatile price action. And it really gives these markets the opportunity to just ponder and pause to see if there is enough vitality and excitement to see these markets either continue to the upside, or will we actually get this little rollover trade? And at this point, it's probably useful to sort of bring in some of these some of the fundamentals behind these markets, where we can weigh up the pros and cons, and I suppose price action will finally determine which is correct. But on the positive side, of course, we do have this vaccine, the COVID vaccine, in current production and distribution. So that's obviously ultimately a really, really positive thing. Now, we also have global central banks around the world being unbelievably accommodative to try and put a bit of a floor under these markets. So that's really the positivity in its entirety. And not just central banks, governments are also approving massive fiscal stimulus packages. We're yet to hear about the fiscal stimulus package for the US, but around the world, we're having governments and central banks being really supportive of these markets. And that's all fantastic. But then if you look at the negativities or the negative side of these markets, and they're becoming quite troublesome. So we've got increasing numbers, number of cases, and also number of deaths are increasing globally. We do have these new strains. We've always had these new strains of these coronaviruses, and but we've got a more of a prevalent strain currently making its way around the UK and potentially around Europe as well. And we've also got the logistics, so some issues and concerns and teething problems with the logistics behind the distribution of the vaccine. So we're likely to see further complications as far as that's concerned with regards to the rollout. As a result of the growing numbers from a COVID infection perspective, it does mean that we are looking at further restrictions across Europe, the UK, and largely across the US as well. And then finally, it's the economic impact of all of these restrictions put together. So these markets really do have an awful lot to consider, and they've been remarkably resilient, as we've been saying for quite some time, to almost an unbelievable extent. Now, there's a well-known saying in trade and financial markets where markets can remain illogical far longer than you or I can remain solvent, which means they don't need to comply to any kind of, ultimately they'll do their own thing. So really we have this decision-making point across a lot of these major markets. making new all-time highs as far as the S&P is concerned, or will we actually see these markets begin to coherently roll over to the downside? Either way, we'll be looking to get involved in these trades, but we do have these markets, creating ceilings and levels of support and resistance up at sort of more recent highs across most of these markets, and we're largely talking about dollar weakness really over the last number of months, and that's really been the trade we're focusing on. But we really do have these decision-making points coming to the fore at this point, so we want to see if we can look to capitalize on these moves in either direction. Okay, so that's really it for this particular Trade Watch video. So from everyone here at the Live Trade Room, we wish you a Merry Christmas, all the best in 2021. And for more information about any of our products and services, just go to our website there at the bottom, www.thelivetraderoom.com, for more information. And we look forward to seeing you in the new year. From everyone here, bye for now.